just wanted to ask you about something that appeared in the Sunday Times over the weekend. There was reporting in that newspaper citing a source close to the Trump administration saying that Trump has totally lost faith with Farage and doesn't believe he is for real. Are you for real?
I thought, I'm for real. Don't worry about that. As far as Trump losing faith in me, I don't know. I mean, I saw him in October. I sat with him in November at Mar-a-Lago and chatted about a few things. He's always been enormously supportive of me. I'm supportive of him. We don't see eye to eye on every issue. And as Nadhim says, if I don't see eye to eye, I tell him I don't see eye to eye. I'm not frightened of saying to people what I think. Do you know what? Sometimes journalists write things that may not necessarily be wholly true.
On another topic today, Ofcom in the past 20 minutes has announced that it is investigating Grok, X. Do you welcome that investigation?
On Grok, I mean, nothing from the current set of regulators and government would surprise me when it comes to the suppression of free speech. Do we like and welcome the particular feature on Grok that's made the news over the weekend? No, but let's talk to Grok. They've already made one or two steps in our direction. My fear is we'll end up suppressing Grok and further suppressing free speech, and we do not want to do that.
You mentioned that yourself and President Trump have disagreed on things in the past. Do you think that President Trump is right to consider sanctioning UK officials at Ofcom for taking action against child pornography on Grok? And Nadhim, can I ask you as well, as a former businessman yourself, do you think that Reform's policy, or Reform currently has enough policy on international trade and foreign policy? I've heard from businesses myself that they're not clear on what that Reform policy might be. And in terms of importing and exporting in particular, do you have any ideas that you will be sharing with the party?
Thank you, Lucy. Can I just touch upon, I know Nigel will come back on this, on the whole issue of Grok. What happened with Grok, by the way, you could do on PowerPoint, right? Anyone who chooses to want to create an image, you could have done in the past. The technology is moving fast. What you don't do, in my view, is take a heavy-handed approach and start banning stuff, right? What Nigel said is absolutely spot on. Elon Musk is one of the great businessmen of our generation, and he's rightly come out and said, we will fix this, and the fix is to make sure that people who are registered, who you know who their identity is, can use some of this new technology, not people who hide their identity, and I think that's a good thing. But when you start attacking a business just because you don't agree with the owner's politics or stance, I think it's a dangerous place to be, which is where, if the reports are right, is where Keir Starmer is at on this. So I just want to just remind everyone here that all this stuff, technology moves all the time, right? We have to be the place that is open, and especially my new party and their absolute belief in free speech, be the place that cherishes that.
Mr. Farage, last week you said you were very troubled by what was going on X. You seem to be moving to a position that child porn on demand is just something we're going to have to live with. Don't you think that your position on this would carry more weight if you and your MPs weren't taking money from the app that's offering the child porn on demand?
Nice try.
And a question for Mr. Zahawi. Do you see yourself going back into the House of Commons, or has Reform offered you the peerage that the Conservative Party didn't give you?
Because one is troubled by some of the things that happen in the online world, does not equate to thinking that the organisations themselves should be banned. There is a really quite big fundamental difference between those two positions. As for money, well, you know, as you may well know, we probably don't know, you wouldn't because of the way the declarations work, I employ people privately to help me with my social media accounts. Let me assure you, I don't make money on X. It costs me several £1,000s every month.